Hey, boys and girls, it's Mr. McAndrew, the math coach. Very excited to be with you again. We are learning a lot this week, right? I know it's a lot, but we're doing great. We're learning about number lines and like how you can apply addition and subtraction to like the length of things, the volume of things, and today we're going to get into what's called the mass. All right, real quick, I wanted to review what you did yesterday in case you had any questions. Okay. Um, Matt's tank had 251 liters and he added more water. We don't know how much. Okay. But now there's 381. So the question is, what's the distance between these two numbers, right? That's our question mark right there. Okay. So we can either start here and go up or start here and go down. Either way. I kind of like to go up. I'm better at addition, personally. So I'm going to start at 251 and say, well, can I jump in my hundredth place to get close to 381? I can go up 100, right? I'm going to go whoop, add 100. So that gets me to 351. And I always add it here just so I remember how much I've added. Okay? I always put it here. So I don't have too much further to get to 381, right? In fact, the hundreds place is the same. The ones place is the same. It's just the tens place that's different. How many tens do I need to get from 5 to 8? I need 3 tens. So I'm going to add up. I'm going to hop up 30, right? Because 30 is 3 tens. So I get to 381. So I added 130. So Matt must have added 130 liters. Okay? The next one says he starts, there were 859, and he ends up, he takes out 340. How much does he have left? So we actually have to subtract 340. So if I subtract 300, I'm just looking at my hundredth place, and I get that down to 500. My tens and ones don't change. All I've taken away are hundreds, just like we did with our base 10 pieces. Okay? So now we're at 559. But I still have to take away 40 because I'm taking away 340, right? So let's take away 40. Now I'm only taking away from the tens place. If I take away 40, I end up at 500. What's 4 tens from 5 tens? That leaves you with 1 10. So that's 519. Okay, and that's the answer that I got. Okay? All right, so today we're talking about something called mass. What is mass? Mass is like this kind of funny thing. Mass basically refers to how much stuff is in something, like how much stuff is in, like in a balloon. Not a lot, it's just air. There's not a lot in there. It's not very dense, right? So a balloon doesn't have very much mass. I would have more mass than that, right? If you filled me up with like rock, I'd be even having more mass. Okay? So let's take a look at what mass actually means. Here we go. All right, so sorry. One more thing about mass. It's very related to weight, but it's a little bit different, okay? So for example, weight has to do with how much gravity is pulling on you, okay? So for example, if let's pretend, just to make numbers easy, let's pretend I'm 150 pounds, okay? Just to make it easy, all right? If I were to go to the moon, I would only weigh, I believe, about 25 pounds. All right? Because the gravity is so much weaker on the moon because the moon's so much smaller. A little bit of science. The bigger the object, the more gravitational pull it has on it. Okay, even you have gravitational pull, but we're not very big, so it's very weak. It takes something really huge to actually pull something towards it, like the Earth, the sun, the moon, things like that. Now, if I were to go to the center of the Earth, right, like way down the center, where the gravity's crushingly strong, I'd weigh like 350 pounds. Okay, like as much as like the biggest football player in the entire NFL. Okay, so weight is different than mass because no matter where I go, to the moon, to Mars, to visit my grandmother, my mass stays the same. Okay, my mass is just how much stuff is like makes up who I am or makes up whatever. Okay, so let's look at a couple examples. All right, so how do we measure mass? So let's talk about this. Or before we even get into that, we measure it usually in terms of grams and kilograms. Okay, so and let me give you examples of this. So a paper clip, it would just be like 1 gram. They're very small. They're like milliliters. They're very small. The cap to a pen, 1 gram. One piece of like small chewing gum, 1 gram. Okay, now a kilogram is like 1,000 times more than a gram. So we're talking about things like a half gallon of milk, or 7 apples, okay, or like 2 loaves of bread, right? These are about 1 kilogram. I think the average, average third grader would be like maybe around like 30 kilograms, or maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, okay? And you can measure it like this is a little top. You can measure it like this, right? So you put, this is 126 grams, okay? So it's not even a kilogram. So remember, kilogram is like much bigger, right? This is just 1 kilogram. You are like 30-something kilograms, and like this little dice is probably like 2 or 3 grams. So grams are very tiny, okay? This horse, which is a little hard to see, could be up to, how much is a horse? Let me look that up. Hold on a second. Yeah, it could be anywhere from like a small horse, like 380 kilograms, all the way up to about 1,000. This looks like a pretty big horse, so I'm guessing maybe like she's like 800 or 900 kilograms. Okay, so gram tiny, kilogram big. All right, so let's get to our word problem. All right, boys and girls, so let's take out your word problems for today. It says Wednesday word problem number 1 and Wednesday word problem number 2. Okay, and then yeah, and there'll be a few more practice problems to subtract, and you are good to go for, with me anyways, for the week. So let's take a look at what it says. It says, Emma's horse has a mass of 872 kilograms. So we know the kilograms are the big ones, right? And we know like the biggest horses get up to like 1,000. So it's a pretty good sized horse. Nancy's horse has a mass of 730 kilograms. So I'm thinking in my mind a little bit smaller, right? A little bit less mass. How much more mass does Emma's horse have? Okay, so you've got a number line, you've got some space down here. Try a strategy, okay? See what you get, and then we'll take a look, okay? Stop the video, please. Do your work, and then come on back. All right, so if you haven't set it up yet, this is one way to start. Okay, and if you haven't tried it yet, please do that. Okay, it's the only way your brain's going to grow is if you try it, even if you make some mistakes. That's all right. So we're comparing 2 horses, right? One weighs more, or not weighs, it has a bigger mass. Probably does weigh more, actually, because the bigger mass you have, the more you weigh, right? But we're trying to figure out how much more mass does Emma's horse have. So Emma's horse has 872 kilograms, whereas Nancy's is only 730. So again, we're just trying to find what is the difference between these 2 numbers, right? How much more is 872? So I could look for a way to count up, all right? So I could think 730, if I add, let's think in terms of the hundreds to get close to 872. If I add 100, that gets me to 830. All right, so can I do anything with the tens place? What can I add 10, 20, 30, 40? If I add 40, I can get real close right? Because if I add 40, I get to 870, and now I'm only 2 away. So it's just a little hop of 2. So I end up with 142. Okay? Is that what you got? 142 kilograms? All right, you could also just subtract, right? If you just subtract, even on the number line, you could do it with base 10 pieces if you want. But if you subtract to get down to, 730? Then you could hop down 100, and you're at 772. Subtract 40, you're at 732, and then subtract 2 more, and you're at 730. So either way, you get 142. Excuse me. All right, so boys and girls, there's one more problem here. It says, as a foal is a young horse, like a baby horse, okay? Bill's horse had a mass of 439 kilograms. Now it's a big horse with a mass of 960 kilograms. So as a baby, as a little, child horse, it was 439, right, kilograms. Now it's gotten all the way up to 960. It's almost like doubled in size, more than doubled in size. So the question is, how much did it grow? All right, so you can use this number line or space down here to figure that out. There's a variety of ways to do it. Try the number line, see how it goes. I'm trying to teach you a different way of doing it. For some of you, you might decide, I love doing number lines. And some of you might say, oh, I'm so glad we're done with number lines. That's okay. We all find different ways of visualizing and solving problems. Okay, so try this one out. Stop the video. All right, like my little hand signal. Stop the video. Do your work, and then come on back. While I sit here doing nothing, waiting. All right, guys, so let's take a look. I'm going to do this in green so that you don't get confused with the other problem. So I'm thinking that it was 439, right? And it went to 960. So I'm gonna start here, which is what the horse did, and then just kind of go up. So if I go up 100, that's 539. 200 is 639. 300 is 739. 400 would get me to 839, and 500 would get me to 939. That's a good one. So I'm going to go a big jump of 500. And that gets me to 939. Okay? Now, I'm not at 960 yet, but let's see. Oh, I have an idea, boys and girls. Look at this. 939 is only one away. Look at this. If I add one to 940. And 940 is a nice, easy, round number. Because look, I can just jump 20 more to get to 960. So my answer would be 521. Anybody else get 521? Yeah. I want to show you one thing real quick, kind of cool. And then you have your own word problems to work on. It's very similar to the ones that we just did, okay? But check this out. If I have 960 and I actually subtract 430, okay, watch what happens. Is that what it was? 439. So I'm subtracting 439, right? So first I'm going to subtract 400, and I get 560. Okay? Now I want to subtract, how much I want to subtract? 30, okay, because it's minus 439, right? So if I subtract 30, I land on 530. And if I subtract 9, that would give me 521, which is the answer we got. It's all connected, boys and girls. It's all connected. All right, cool stuff. There's one more video today, not too long, okay? And do your word problem and do your subtraction practice, and you are rocking it, all right? Be good, be kind, be safe, be nice to your parents, and I don't know, do some math. All right, bye-bye, boys and girls. Great job.